Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Anand. How
Hi,
are you?
Sandesh. Yeah, I'm fine. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Okay. I will ask you some questions. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, rate
Mm-hmm.
yourself in JavaScript first.
Okay. So out of 10,
Yes, yes, out of 10.
6. Yeah, 6.
Okay. Fine. So, we will ask you some JavaScript questions again. So, what is hosting?
Hoisting is basically the declaration of var list,
Okay.
not like var function, class objects and all. It moves to the top of their scope prior to the execution. So basically, it's like the JavaScript nature, like it's big. So it's a hoisting. Because of hoisting, it moves all the declaration to the top prior to the execution of the code.
Okay. And what is queuing in JavaScript?
Currying. Okay. So currying is basically instead of taking all the argument at the same time, the function takes one argument at a time and returns a new function expecting a new argument. Um, so that's the currying in JavaScript.
Okay. Just let me know what is the difference between let and var.
Yeah. So late is the block scope and the var is the function scope. So both are we use for the variable declaration.
Okay, good. And one more question. What is the difference between map and for each?
Okay. So um, both are the array methods. So uh, map returns a new array every time,
Okay,
and for each doesn't return anything. So because of map returns a new array, so we can like use another methods, chain them to the map, but for each doesn't return anything, so we cannot chain them.
okay. So we'll ask some React questions also. So first of all,
Mhm.
just rate yourself in React first.
Okay, so in React, uh, out of 10, 5.
Yeah, yeah, out of 10.
Yeah. 5 out of 10, 5.
Okay, fine. So just we'll ask you some questions about React first. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So how you can handle an error in a React?
Okay. In React, there is a error boundaries.
Okay.
Using like error boundaries, we can handle an error in
Hmm.
React.
Okay. And what is render prop?
A render prop is basically normally we pass like the array as a value, but instead of the normal value, we pass prop as a function. Uh, so this is basically the render prop. So I have an like the common functionality, and I want to reuse in multiple component.
Okay.
So in that case, a children component in multiple children components. So in that case, I write the function, and in that function, I'll like the write all the functionality which I want, and then I'll pass this function to the props and use it in the children component. So that's
Okay.
basically the rest.
Okay. And what is refs in React?
Refs.
Yeah.
Refs is basically to manipulate the DOM or access the DOM. We have React has an ref, so using refs we can access the browser like the DOM element and manipulate them.
Okay. So tell me state in React also.
Mm, States are basically to store data, to manage the data. We use the and using states we can manage the
Okay.
data.
Hmm. Okay, fine. So tell me something about React portals.
React portal. So React, there is a like in DOM document, um, there is a root node only in DOM, and if we want to add one like the if we want to basically okay, so in React there is only one node like in
Okay.
DOM ID root. So and everything in everything like the every node the every component and everything renders on that node only. Like everything appends in that node and then and then removes from that node only. So each and everything is there only. But if I want to render something in different node, like the same as a
Okay.
root node, I have created a root hyphen portals or something like that. And I want to render this in that node. So in that case, React portals are useful. So using React portals, I can do this.
Okay, fine. Okay. So how you pass the data from one component to another component?
Um, Using props, we can do that.
Okay. So what is the prop dealing?
Prop drilling is basically mm, as I said now, like using props, we can pass data from parent to child.
Okay.
Same like the from parent to first child, then second child to third child to fourth child. I want to like traverse data in that way. So that's called the prop drilling. Like instead of the first child, if I want to pass this data to the any fourth child or fifth child, so in that case I have I have to any go through the all the component until I'll reach the final the my destination. So that's the prop trading basically.
Okay, fine. Okay, so if I want to fetch data from an API and print it on page, then what are the
Mm,
steps are there?
okay.
You got my question?
So yes.
Okay,
Okay,
yes.
so you want me okay you say of page data from an
Yeah,
API and then print it print
yeah.
on a page. Okay. So in that case, in React, I'm talking about the like the normal functional component. Then we need two hooks. Basically, the first is a use state, and the second one is a use effect. And like the we can use fetch also to fetch
Okay,
the API, but we can use Axios for fetching and after in using Axios. And then first, okay, so I'll first import use state and use effect. And in use state, I'll mention like the data and the set data as a method. And then in use effect, I'll do my the fetching functionality, like the retrieve data, the API functionality, basically the retrieving a data from the API. Like I'll use assign the XCOs and the endpoint, like whatever the endpoint is given, the API URL. And
okay,
after API returns the data, I'll use the set data method, which I'll initialize in a use state and set data. And then after the setting is completed in like the set data, like in a use effect, then uh, I'll to print this data. I'll uh, I'll use a map, and in map, like using map, we can print this data on a page.
okay.
Like yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll
So
say it. I'll say it. Like the is like the error also. Like if it is there, it returns a error,
okay,
and it shows a error. And loading also. Like when the loading is like the when the API and until API is returns a data, it's just showing that loading state. So it
okay,
doesn't
fine.
like the
Yes, yes. So how you manage the performance in React?
to manage the performance like um many ways to
Like,
stop re-rendering or like we can use the use memo, use callback, and we can use a pure component also. Yeah,
okay, fine.
and yeah, yes.
Yeah. Uh, what is the difference between username and user callback?
Okay, use name and use
Yeah.
memo and use callback.
Yeah. Use memo and use callback.
Okay. So use memo and use callback. So use memo is basically um like use memo is cache basically cache any caching of value and working when I want to any work with the value like the in that case I'll use use memo, and use callback is basically works with the functions. So yeah, that's the difference.
Okay. Uh, what is the pure component in React?
Okay, so pure component is basically pure component doesn't uh, if the like the parameters like the props what we are passing to them is same like the basically doesn't any uh, uh, the same component like the basically uh, uh, it doesn't return we can what we can say basically just a second, sir.
Okay, okay, fine.
Yeah, so what we can say in React, pure components works with the class component. Basically, we can like when we are working on class component, in
Okay.
that case, we import pure component from the like, React, and we use and the pure components are returns the same result each and every time. Doesn't return
Okay.
any different result. So yeah.
Okay, fine. So let's start with the Redux also. Hi, Anand.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So tell me something about Redux.
Okay, so Redux is basically we use Redux to maintain a state
Okay.
in React. So yeah, and Redux stores all the states in a in its any store. It's just like the in one place. Yeah, and from there only we can any. It's basically to manage a state and the data and pass data from to
Okay.
to
And
avoid
yeah, yeah,
the
continue.
prop drilling we use we use the Redux basically you can say, or
Okay.
this is also the yeah.
So one more question. What is the difference between use select and the use dispatch?
Okay, use selector and use dispatch is
Yeah.
basically or like these are the Redux hooks basically. Use selector is basically to select the state, select the any state, and use dispatch we use to dispatch an action. Like if I want to change and pass an action, so in that case we use dispatch in
Yeah.
Redux.
Okay. So yeah, done. Hello.
Uh, yes, yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. So everything is good. So you
Mhm.
want to ask something?
No, sir.
Okay. So further procedure, we will mail you, Anand. Okay.
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 Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah. Welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.